Hello YouTube, welcome back to our family. This channel is all about this amazing species of snake, the ball python. So if you want to learn more and you want to follow me on my journey and to becoming a better ball python breeder, then like, subscribe, ting that notification bell and you can stay up to date with any forthcoming content. If you are new to the channel guys, get on over to our Instagram. While you're there, give us a follow, it'll be hugely appreciated. But the link in the bio, there is a link tree, and in that you'll find links to our MORPH Market, YouTube, Facebook and our merch store. So get in there, let us know what you think guys. We're always looking to improve, and yeah, I hope you enjoy the content that's coming. Let's roll the intro and let's get down to it. The topic for today's video was set to us by Rich at Predator BP. Thank you very much for that, Rich. And basically he's asked, what is my favourite gene or mutation and why? It's a very difficult question for me to answer, so thanks for that, Rich. Just before I go into it, I will tell you from the off, I don't have a favourite, not one single gene anyway. And even if I did have a favourite, that's irrelevant really. Everyone has got their own personal tastes, everything's subjective. It's a little bit like a menu in a restaurant, you know, we're not all going to order the same thing, and that's how it should be, and that will definitely keep the market more exciting with people producing different things all across the board. And it definitely makes it more exciting for us breeders to see all the different things that these genes can do. So just before we get into it, I've prepared a bit of footage for some of the projects and mutations that I'm working here. So let's roll that and you guys can have a look and see what I'm working. guys, I did take 2 bites getting that footage from the Purple Passion GHI, so I hope you all appreciate the sacrifice. There's a couple of things, well there's one thing that I want to mention, and I've got to tread carefully here. There is a couple of projects that I probably will never work, you know, because they're not for me, and one of those is the Exantic. And it is just a personal thing. You know, I don't like to see snakes in 2 dimensions, you know, that you take the yellow away so you're just left with the black and the white. That being said, I can appreciate the art and the amount of work that goes into producing some stunning animals that the Exantic project produces. I saw one recently from Easy Temptation. She's produced it, I think it was a Pastel Desert Ghost Exantic, and that animal almost turned me the other way to start thinking, hang on, I need to start getting into the Exantic project. But it's just a personal thing, I suppose. It's not for me. I'm not taking anything away from the breeders that work these projects. They do an amazing job, produce stunning animals. And one of the genes that I've worked with quite heavily over the years, and I've really learned a lot from, and learned to really appreciate the mutation, and that is the Mojave. It was the first combo that I made had Mojave in it. It was actually the first morph that I bought other than the normal that I had. And I've been on a journey with it. I mean, the first Mojave that I produced, I raised her to adulthood. I'm a big lover of anything in the bow complex, really. So that the Mojave or anything in the bow complex is, you know, is definitely up there for me. Then in the next breath, sometimes I feel like anything in the bow complex, you're taking that pattern and that colour away, and that's also not what I want to do. As I grow and as I develop as a breeder, I start to want to see more pattern in these snakes, more colour, and it gives us a wider spectrum of colour and pattern mutations that we can see. Another one, and it's a controversial topic, I'm well aware, but it's the spider. For me, early on, was a big player throughout my collection, and I had to sort of tone it down a little bit because when the ban came in, and there's a lot of misinformation around the neurological issues, I just couldn't sell the surplus, and that was becoming an issue, you know. I only want to produce these snakes if I know that they're going to good homes. So as part of being a responsible ball python breeder, you know, I did ease off on that, on producing anything with spider. Myself personally, you know, I love it, but not everyone does, and we do have to cater for that as well as breeders, as well as work with what we want to work. But when there's genetic issues involved, you know, you've got to get a feel for the climate. But you know, the spider is responsible for a lot of the hype within the hobby. Ever since Kevin McCurley at Nerd produced the first Bumblebee in 2001, I think it is. You know, that set fire underneath the ball python industry, and it gave it the momentum which is still running on now. It is a little bit frowned upon. I don't think that it should be, but that's my personal opinion. It is what it is. The next one then, which was influential to me, was the first time I saw the first Dreamsicle that JKR produced. I know he wasn't the first one to produce it, but it was the first one that came to my attention. And as soon as I saw it, I just knew one day I'm gonna make that snake, and I'm still on that journey now. For me, that project had to go it had to sort of get in line, because I didn't want to buy a pied until I produced my own, and I did that. I produced my own. I now have an adult female, and an adult male lav, which, you know, I can pair them, produce my own double het. So I'm going about it the long way, but I'm not in a rush either. I get the enjoyment out of these projects, and for me it is certainly about the journey. So there are two genes then that are a contradiction to the rule. I realise that I'm going to sort of contradict something that I've said earlier about picking what you like and going with it, but there are two genes that you definitely should have in your collection. One is Inchy. Anything that Inchy touches makes it better, no matter what that is, dark, light, whatever end of the spectrum you're on. If you're in the middle, Inchy is going to give that project legs, and it's going to improve it. Same goes for Yellow Belly, or pretty much anything in that complex. There are a couple of different genes, and there are a couple of genes that are the same, just different lineage, and they are really going to bring the colour out and make it pop. So one thing I will say though is that the Yellow Belly isn't a pattern mutation. It will just enhance what's already there, whereas the Inchy has a big influence on pattern as well. So pattern wise, if you like what you've got but you want to enhance the colour, then use Yellow Belly. So they do have the different applications. So again, I'm probably contradicting what I say there, but Yellow Belly and Inchy, everything. There is even a mutation or two that I was definitely caught sleeping on. One of them being Clown. I was very late to the party with Clown. It's just at the time everyone and his dog seemed to be working it, and that was a real turn off for me. And then just as time went on, I realised that, you know, I've got to. The Clown project is so powerful, it just can't be ignored. So I was unsure about what direction to take it. So I invested in a really high quality female, which I got from Brim Phillips. I was really happy with her, and that thing is growing like nothing I've ever seen. So I'm thinking that she'll be up to weight for next season, which will only be her second year. So she might not be ready to breed, she might be, but it gives me time to sort of figure out what male I want to put to her. It's definitely not a male that I have in my collection currently. It'll be another investment that I have to get within the collection, which is either Visual Clown or at least Het. And then I'm struggling trying to pick the codoms that I want in there as well, because there's so many people already doing so much with it. So Clown's always been quite a difficult one for me to really find my lane. So that's where I'm at with that. The Scaleless is another project which I am excited about. You will find sort of throughout the coming videos that I'm going to be sort of an advocate for this project. There's not enough breeders excited about it, if you ask me, and it's just, in my opinion, it's just fear of the unknown. The project didn't get the best start. I'm not going to get into that, that's another topic, but there is a lot of stuff said about the Scaleless, you know, which certainly isn't true. There's not been a female on eggs yet, as far as I'm aware. You would have thought that would have happened by now, but they do grow a lot slower because they shed twice as often, which means, you know, they're only eating half as much. But the Scaleless animals do perfectly well in captivity. I have spoken to breeders who have I haven't produced any of my own yet. Should have said that from the off. But I've spoken to breeders who have, you know, and they do perfectly fine. So, and I absolutely love the Scaleless animal. The first time I saw Brian's, it blew me away, and it was another one of those moments. I'm going to make that. I do have an adult female. She's hopefully going to go for me next season. I've produced a couple of 100% albino Scaleless heads, so maybe in the years to come I'll produce an albino Scaleless, and I am going to make it my business to sort of turn people's opinions around on this project, because there's just so much bad things being said about it, and it's just not true. It's just not true. We fear what we don't know, and that's... Champagne has always been a mutation which excites me, because it seems to be like no matter what you do, it always does something different. You can't really... It definitely always keeps you guessing. Different... You might have the same mutation with champagne in, which look completely different, and sometimes anything with champagne in looks completely different after it's had a couple of sheds, which took me by surprise on a couple of clutches back. Some of these snakes came out the egg nearly white, and they had a couple of sheds, and all of a sudden they were yellow. So I like that aspect. So yeah, champagne's another one. I know we're running out of mutations here to talk about, but like I said, I really do find it difficult to pick one out. Pied, enough said. Have I talked about Pied already? I don't think I have, but yeah, Pied, love that. There is also the new kid on the block, relatively new kid on the block, the Desert Ghost, everyone's favourite at the minute, or the Enhancer. That gene is just, I look at some of the Desert Ghost stuff being produced, and it blows me away every time. It really is a powerful gene, and I'm looking forward to producing my own. There you have it. If you have made it to the end, everyone, thank you very much for watching. I understand that was a bit of a long video, and I still feel like there's lots of genes that I haven't given any credit to, but there was over 30 minutes of footage there for that video, but I had to edit it out, and I don't want the video to be too long, but that just leaves. Thank you very much, guys. If you've got any ideas for future content, get down in the comment section, and I will see you on the next one.